hardest part when you're learning to set boundaries, truthfully, is the fact that if you're having to set boundaries, 99.999% of the time, that's because everyone around you doesn't really have good boundaries either. That's how you got in this space. If you were taught boundaries when you were young, you're operating from a space of boundaries. So your journey is different and it's easier, right? But there are a lot of people in this world that learn from the outside in, because most of us, even if we had parents that did a better job of that, there's still a lot of it in school. There's still a lot of it in the workplace. There's still a lot of it in religious organizations. And so much of it is trying to teach people how to be safe or make sure they're okay or make sure they don't make a quote unquote dumb mistake. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they tell you not to leave this job because it's a better job than you could get, or not to change your career because financially it won't be as good. And yet you're miserable and dying bit by bit where you are. And they don't know that if you let go of that and grow into something that, no, you can't see the whole path yet, the magic and the income that can come from living a life full of joy and passion and doing what you want is bigger than they can see, right? So they're not trying to walk all over your boundaries. They think they're telling you the right, wise decisions. And it's important to understand that, because that's how we don't know who we are, is we have been taught to listen to all these people and go to people for advice and go to the experts in these areas. And then we're supposed to follow that. And there are plenty of people willing to tell you you're wrong if you go outside of that. And there are plenty of people that, and let's face it, one of the most important things about getting boundaries and loving yourself is learning that you cannot worry about what anybody else thinks. You can choose who you ask advice from, but then you still get to choose what you take from that, right? You still need to filter that through. That advice that I asked for, is that advice right for me or is it not? Is there parts of it that's right for me and parts of it that are not? Marinate on that. Make sure you have your a routine with quiet time, with, God, source energy, yourself, however you view that, so that you let things filter through and you really decide. You don't just do what other people tell you, or you really decide, is this mine? And if it's yours, own it. Now run with it. And if it's not yours, be willing to let it go, even if somebody you really respect doesn't think that's the right choice. Because in the end, your journey is always only yours.